So to my CC buddy, please ensure that we're able to record this whole space. So okay, thank you so much, buddy. Okay, let me just load up. Okay, so hi everyone, welcome to the second BD session for today. So in comparison to the recent session that Sumi just did, it was more of capacity building, identifying the problems that we did encounter during our MC term. But for this session, we're really going to focus on identifying our legacy for the coming BD generation. Okay, so just to introduce myself really quickly in case that you guys don't know me, I'm Jika. I'm MCVP for BD and PR from ISEC in the Philippines. And in case you want to follow me, connect with me, there's my Instagram handle. I'd love to have more friends after this conference. Okay, so yeah, I did come from ISEC in the Philippines, and it's an honor, it's a pleasure to be your FASI today with my other co-MCVP and my MCP. Okay, so just a super short introduction of who I am in case you, sorry, in case you don't know my Isaac story. So let me just, oops, okay. So just a super short introduction. So I've been in Isaac since November 2016. I actually went on exchange to Malaysia a couple of years back. And then when I came back, I did become the LCVP for marketing. And then life just surprised me. I got elected for BDPR of Isaac in the Philippines last year. Okay, so when it comes to our session objectives, like these are the things that I hope that we'll be able to achieve within the limited time that we have together. So first and foremost, to be able to reflect and identify what were the things, what were the factors that were in our control during this whole MC term. And second of all, to help ideate and create to have this legacy of excellence for our entity and even for our future successor. And third, to transition to accept that we are entering a new era of ISEC, that we are inventing ISEC because of PD as a priority. And as for expectations in this space, so something that Sumi has already covered in the previous session is that not everything can be answered within the limited amount of time, but let's really maximize this time to reflect on the happenings in our whole MC term, and let's also empower each other to share and to help even each other out beyond the space. Okay, so to the APBD network, even if like it's an intimate space, I really want to ask, how have you been really doing? And I really want this to be like a two-way conversation instead of me just talking for like 45 minutes or so. So I want to ask for you guys to answer, like, how have you exactly been exercising your locus of control? Meaning, like, what are the things that were in your control, and how did you really maximize those opportunities? And I also would like to ask, like, what were your achievements, not achievements during your MC term? And third, like, what are the things that you secretly wish were in your control? So we're in intimate space. I hope that a lot of people get to share. So I don't want to nominate, but I'll really take this time to really talk to you guys. So anyone who'd like to share how they've been feeling throughout this whole MC term. So yeah, anyone can share. So let's go, guys. So I see Jai, I see Vanessa, I see Michelle, I see Sumi, I see my MCP, I see Kernal, I see Cindy, I see Kim. So anyone who'd like to share how they've been exercising their locus of control? Let's go, guys. Let's empower each other. Anyone who'd like to share? Come on, guys. We're just 10 in the room. So, like, it
I
shouldn't be.
think I can share like the
Okay,
third questions,
go ahead.
which is like what are the things that I wish I could have the locus of control, or even like the power of control. So I think it will be my energy. Because I think most of the time I wish I can have more energy to do more, but then in fact that everyone has the everyone has the finite energy to do something, especially in one term. Yeah, and then yeah, what I actually like the biggest realization for me as a MCVP is like my half of the term before that, which means that when I start term is always to get to adapt into the role, and then after that, like after the half of the term, just start to realize that what I can do better. Yeah, so it means like in the last of my term, like this half term, it will be the things that I can do, but then it will be in a very limited space or even like limited time and energy that can do better. Yeah. And I think this is also if let's say I build out something for my department right now, it will be another layer of like how to say, like for my successor, like for her or him to stand on the shoulder of the giant. Because if I think what we do right now as a BD people is always to find out more new solution and leave something for our successor to think more up on what we can do, and for sure they can build from there as well. Yeah, so this is my biggest realization ever. I think. Yeah. So yeah, I wish I can do more, but then yeah, I will try my best to end my term more smoothly for my successors as well. Yeah, do not leave the question to your successor, but then do it right now, and they can build from you. Yeah, from the things that we build on. Yeah.
All right. So thank you, Jai, for stepping up. Like I super resonate with that. I think a lot of us in the like in the APBD commission really want to, save the world or like get so much things done. But we do realize that we do run unlimited time and energy. So thank you so much for sharing. Okay, to speed things up, so definitely we did realize throughout this whole MC term that we aren't in control of the situation. Like we aren't in control that COVID is still happening or like there's still that unclear direction on where to go, but we can definitely control our response to it. So I did mention earlier the locus of control, which means how much extent that we feel over the control over the events that happen in our lives. And I really want to throw that question, like, have we already planned, like, as in, like, within ourselves, like, within our respective entities, have we really planned enough what will happen in the remaining months? Like, maybe some of you guys are ending as early as June. I'm ending in June. Maybe some of you guys are ending as late as July. And I really want to throw that question to you, like, a lot of months have passed by, a lot of weeks have gone by, even since replanning. So I really want us to take this time to reflect. And second of all, like what are BD efforts for? Like maybe for some of you guys, it's for financial sustainability. Like maybe it's not supposed to like really expand BD for now, but it's really to keep the whole entity afloat for you guys. Maybe that's some of your realities. And then second of all, or like third of all, like maybe it's your partnerships are for making sure that ISEC is relevant in your country, making sure that ISEC is able to deliver impact to the stakeholders that you promised. And another question I'd also like to throw is like, what are the programs that we're currently doing and what are the products that we're really selling through the BD direction? So I really want to take this time to reflect with everyone, like, what is the legacy that we want to leave behind? Like, we were the first generation to figure out where BD should go. But now it's really time for us to reflect. Like, we only have a few months left, and we really have to be conscious. We have to be intentional with where our energy will go because this really will affect the next BD generations. Okay, so now that we've swiftly reflected on ourselves, I think it's also fair that we also, reflect on how we'll be taking care of our stakeholders, like includes our partners, our members, our alumni, whoever we have to take care of in this job. So maybe for some of you guys, you only have national BD, like you won't have localized BD. Like these are probably your stakeholders, like national partners, strategic alliances, maybe your future successor. And for those that had to bring back or like had to establish local BD, your stakeholders are national partners also, like strategic alliances, your LCVPs, and of course your future successor. So I want us to take this time to, think about our stakeholders. So what we're going to do, like in relation to the previous session that Sumi did, we talked about design thinking, and part of design thinking is doing storyboarding. So let me briefly explain it to you before we go into breakout rooms. So when we do storyboarding, it's essentially communicating a concept by visualizing the user interactions. And the key with design thinking is you always put yourself in the shoes of the people that you want to care for, or you really put yourself in their perspective. And storyboarding is one way to prototype whatever that we want to do, like if it's a functional strategy, if it's a tactic, if it's how we communicate to our members. And as MCVPs, it definitely will help us visualize and empathize with the stakeholders that will interact with. So maybe partners, maybe the members that we lead. And as I mentioned earlier, like it will really help visualize what happens per step, like before, during, and after. So we don't have that much time anymore in our MC term. But I want to believe that it's not too late to pivot. Like we still have relatively enough time to make a difference in the stakeholders that we have. And of course, let's also take this time to create a legacy as we transition to the next generation. So what has Isaac taught me? I'll take this time to briefly like share with you my MCVP journey. So with my MC team, MC Padayon, it was definitely a wake up call. Like everything that happened in 2020, that we had to reinvent the essence of Isaac in the Philippines. And in my case, like in my reality, it had to include revamping the national portfolio of Isaac for the Philippine market. So those are just some of my ESDs. Like one of them is actually here, and she's also taking on dual roles. So she's also representing Isaac and Myanmar also. So we're currently working on our national partnership portfolio, and it might be like, okay, Jake, it's just a portfolio, but for me, like the portfolio is honestly one of the biggest assets of BD, and if we don't take care of it enough, then we won't be able to get the partners that we want to get, or like we won't even be able to make the LC succeed if we don't have a proper national partnership portfolio. So just an example of how I did the storyboard process when I was, trying to empathize, or like as I attempted to empathize with our members. So like in my case, I really prioritized like partners because I really wanted to make sure that when I do leave my MC term, that I'm able to transition enough partners to my successor. So during the before process, like I wanted to look at previous partnership discharge reports. I also wanted to see like what were the partnerships before COVID, and then during stage, of course, like I needed to also identify like what should be the national BD products, what should be the pricing for our BD products, and also gathering testimonials from our existing national partners. And during the after stage, I also wanted to have like a clear understanding of NPS, of course, also taking into consideration account management with partners, and hopefully renewing these partnership contracts. So in storyboarding, you're only going to focus on one stakeholder. So earlier we had like LCs, successor, and partners. So we're going to basically do the same thing. Okay, so as we go on the storyboarding process, I want you to think about like what will be your vision for yourself and for your successor. And in your entity, how can you create a legacy of reinvention and innovation for Isaac? So we'll be going into breakout rooms. So you just have to like focus on one stakeholder. So you just have to also identify what happens before, during, and after in order for the strategy to be concretized. So we'll also be using Jamboard for this. So go to bit.ly/APBD storyboard. So hope you guys can open it. So let me know if it works or if it doesn't work. So thank you, Michelle, also for sending. Thank you, Sumi. So yeah. Aviam, is the breakout rooms ready, if I may ask?
Yes, the breakout room is open now.
Okay, perfect, perfect. All right, so do you guys have any questions before we go into breakout rooms, or you guys are okay? Okay, okay. I see a lot of people looking confident. So, okay, I will now stop screen sharing, and yeah, let's go into our breakout room. So, see you guys in 10 minutes. I'm on slide 58. Hi, guys. Sorry that it was a short activity, but I hope that you were able to pick up something from it, more or less. Okay, just wait for Sumi to screen share. Okay, I'm on slide 38. Okay, so of course, after going into breakout room, maybe some of you guys would like to share how you felt during the storyboarding process. So maybe someone would like to step up. So anyone would like to share? Hi guys. Anyone would like to share? Wow, that's a very
First.
okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so yes, we are from the group I don't know, this is what group one or group two, but we're in the storyboard five actually, talking about the business developments in analysis level. And I think that we just talking about how the step by step that we have to do, especially in LC level, talking about the business development, especially and LCBP PD, and also how to PD delivers. And then yes, and we create like an, oh, I'm so sorry, you have to go to the slide 5, storyboard 5. So we finish, yep, so we create like this, and we divide it by 3 step, and step 1 delivered by Vanessa, and step 2 delivered by Michelle, and the step 3 by me. So we create like this, and this is like a step by step. I think that we should prepare in business development, especially in LCS level, talking about the before, not talking about the preparations during and post that we have to do, especially how to create like a synergy with LCPPBD and also MCPPBD. So I think that's all for me.
Oops. All right. Thank you so much, Cindy, for sharing. So maybe the other group would like to share also. So yeah, we're almost done. Time to wrap up. Maybe someone from the other breakout room would like to share. Wow, that's so in depth. Okay. That's Kunal's group, that's Kim's group, that's Jai's group. Anyone who'd like to share how you felt during the whole activity?
Yeah, so for this, right, it's actually we do our own part. So you can see color is my one. So what I actually what I want to do for what I want to do for my successor is actually I want to build out our Isaac in Malaysia LinkedIn page. So this is also current term is building up, and we find this is kind of like very successful first step for us to generate leads from here. So right now we are actually expanding into our sales team as well, not only in national team, but then it's also LC team, LC team. So what we want to do is like from right now, what we do before and during is like to really have a thorough planning on how to make our portfolio more better in LinkedIn, and as well as like to build out our sales team to really build out their personal portfolio in their own LinkedIn page as well, and at the same time to co-create the ripple effect whenever our national team is sharing something in the LinkedIn profile, then they can share or even like they can show up themselves. And then what I want to leave for my successor is definitely I want to increase the Isaac in Malaysia credibility in LinkedIn. So so leave them a good platform and start, because we actually use half of the term to build B2B LinkedIn marketing in LinkedIn. So right now is the time to harvest the leads from LinkedIn as well. And recently we get a lot of leads from LinkedIn. So I think this is a best move for us to contribute and build more and try to move the platform from FB like Facebook to LinkedIn right now. Yeah, because we are actually solving youth unemployment in Malaysia. So this is what I want to do, and I want my successor being doing as well. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Jai, for sharing. So I really love how there were people in the breakout room for their successors. Okay, so maybe we could go back to the slides. So thank you, Sumi, for being a wonderful co-facilitator for this space. Okay, so now that we've done storyboarding, I want to ask, like, if it's possible for each MCVP to share, like, what are your remaining dreams for your term? So you guys can unmute yourself. You can also type it in the chat box in case that you want to preserve your voice for the coming week. So you guys could just chat, or like you can also unmute yourselves. Like, I'm really curious on like what are your remaining dreams in your MC term. So maybe you had dreams before that, okay, I want to make my entity thrive. I want to make a lot of partnerships happen. So maybe you can share it in the chat or like unmute yourself, like whichever works. So yeah, I expect, I guess, like 5 people to participate here. So like just type it in the chat or like unmute yourselves. So go ahead, like the choice is yours.
I'll share.
Okay, go ahead, B.
Okay, I'm not a VP, but because my boss. But basically, I guess just being like a EST perspective, what I'm hoping for like the VPs for BD, I guess what I hope for them is that they once their term is over, I hope that they can leave BD in some ways a solid foundation for their successors, especially when it comes to nationalizing BD. That I guess they've already managed to not only just build that capacity to do sales, but the fact that BD is going to play an important role when it comes to the reality of our entity for the next year or so, that the predecessor will be able to set a strong foundation as well as, I guess, keeping a long-term partnership from our previous partners, and hopefully they will be with us for the future. So yeah, I really don't know what else to say because I'm not a VP, but just to build a long-lasting BD for both MC and for LCs. So yeah, that's what I'm just hoping, and that's all I'm gonna say. So thank you.
Right. So thank you so much, B, for stepping up. I'm really excited to make these dreams happen with you. So anyone else who would like to share? So we have Michelle, we have Kunal, we have Kim, we have Cindy. Like I'm really curious on like what are your remaining dreams for the term?
I think I can share.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, so I think like my remaining dreams for the term is to gain, like as much as like youth organizations. I mean, like for collaborating with us, Isaac in Cambodia, because like I don't know, like all this time, like I think like we're just like only focusing on going for companies, but like we're also forgetting that there are also like youth that shares the same dream and also like vision like Isaac. So that is yeah, that is like my remaining dream, and also like to have like collaborative space or even like external events that also like involve like like youth in Cambodia other than Isaacers. So yes, that's for me.
Okay, thank you so much, Michelle, for sharing your dreams with us. I hope it really does happen in the remaining months of our term. Okay, so to start slowly wrapping things up, I guess like when we entered the term, we definitely did have this fixed mindset, like, oh, okay, like I'm pretty sure a lot of us, some at some point in our lives, like we had this fixed mindset, like, okay, I can't do this, or like what we're doing is not good enough, or like figuring out BD in general was too hard. But I really want us to remember that despite having these difficulties, that there is that other mindset that we could challenge this fixed mindset with. And that would definitely be having the growth mindset. So I hope that as the months go by, we're able to really challenge ourselves that, okay, not everything has to be in our control, but there are things that can be solved by the future generations of babies. So going on to the next few slides, Sumi. So yeah, definitely, I hope that we can inherit this mindset to the future generations of BD. Like it's not just for our successor to implement, but I guess like in the remaining months, we have to plant the seeds so that these seeds will hopefully prosper in the coming terms ahead. So another reminder, so going on to the next. Okay, going on to the next. Sorry, Sumi. Okay, so when we entered, we honestly had to hear the new normal like maybe 100 times, 1,000 times. But I guess now that it's almost been 1 year since lockdown, um, the new normal isn't the new normal anymore. And in fact, it's actually our next normal, or more so like it's now our now. And I really want that when we exit the term, we're able to, yes, it's a very triggering term. I hope that we're able to help our future generations of BD, like not just survive, but thrive. Like this is not gonna be the new normal, but it's like the next normal now for a lot of us. And Going on to the next few parts before I wrap up. Yeah, it is our next normal and it is our now. So going on to the next, Umi. Okay. Yeah, it's the new normal. And one beautiful reminder that I did encounter during this week actually is we were able to talk to an alumni last night. And he reminded us that whatever we're working hard for, like the true change and impact doesn't come in 1 year. Like maybe some of you guys when you entered your MC term, like by August, like you expected, okay, I should have revenue by then. Or like by September, I should be able to make my entity like survive. Or yeah, we had a lot of unrealistic expectations. But it's definitely like a wake up call that not everything is going to be easy. Like it's really going to be a slow burn, or like it's going to take time for us to reach that beautiful view at the top of the mountain. And another reminder that I also encountered also is that we don't have to be the best MCVP BDs right now. Like our job is different. Like when we entered the term, our job was really to make our entities afloat. And like imagine, like we'll be remembered as the first generation to work in the pandemic. Like we can safely say, like, okay, we weren't the best MCVP BDs, but we were the first MCVPs to work in the pandemic and to even work from home. So imagine, like, these are the stories that we're going to be telling our future children, like our future Isaac children, if ever they end up working in Isaac. And another reminder as well, like a lot of reminders, honestly, along the way, is that our successors will definitely have to have that responsibility to amplify what our generation started. So whatever seed we're planting right now, we might not see the results as of now, but it's definitely going to come up in the coming terms ahead. Another reminder also is that they also have that responsibility to continue whatever we started or whatever we pivoted. Like we did, like maybe a lot of us, or like a lot of us rather did stop exchanges, and we had to like go to engagement with Isaac, or like really and reinvent what the essence of Isaac is. And it's our responsibility for them to continue whatever we pivoted during our MC term. So another thing that Eva did mention during her essence session is that Isaac belongs to the future members of the organization. Like it doesn't belong to us, but it will continue to be remembered, or like it's going to be our gift for the future members of this organization. And I hope that we get to create an Isaac that develops them the way that they have developed us now. So last but not the least, like one last reminder before we wrap up this whole session is that leadership starts with us, it ends with us, but it's never about us. So I hope that despite the limited time that we had together, that we were able to have this wake up call that it's not just about our success anymore, but we also have to think about like our future BD generation. So again, thank you so much for coming to the space. I hope you guys enjoy Leadership Congress. So yeah, I have been your Fassi for like the past 45 minutes. So yeah, in case you want to connect with me, that's my handle. So thank you guys so much for coming to this space, and I hope you enjoy Leadership Congress. So thank you guys. Thank you, Avian, for recording. You can
Thank
stop
you,
now.
Jika.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.